It's a trap, you walk right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, they'll still carry on the torch. Just a lie, cheat, steal, half of what you make. Taxation is steps, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. That they disguise and pass off as bravery. Well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show or for hyper control.
That's a Bones Caught the Rona boy. And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs. We're here with you on this Wednesday afternoon to get everything you want to hear and more. And as you heard from that first bit there, right now, presumably, my podcasting partner is not here because he caught the Rona, allegedly. We don't know for sure yet. He went and got tested today, but he doesn't feel good. So if all you out there give some thought energy towards him, he probably is editing. He probably edited this episode you're listening to right now, which means he's still alive, hopefully.
I just texted him, so
we'll I mean,
hopefully, I need to be closer to this mic.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he should be fine. He's a young, able-bodied man. He doesn't fit the demographic, it being the boomer doomer and all, So I think he'll be okay, but he is ailing right now. So put some positive energy towards him.
I think he'll be all right.
But instead of my podcasting partner Buzz today, we have with us the doctor himself.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. We've been wanting you back. I've been wanting you back on the show for a while now.
I've been busy.
I know.
I got that new job.
With your job and
children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mostly children.
Children, and I bet you they're just occupying large swaths of your time at this point.
Yeah.
Because
basically
one is on the peak of.
One just turned two, and the other one is 7 months.
Holy shit! I don't envy you.
So
see that's the thing. I love, like, granted, me and Toby are planning on having more, but I love the fact, like, Jim, he's 8 years old now.
My children have zero autonomy right now.
Exactly. I can tell him, like, hey, go upstairs and go do that. I want to see your face for a minute.
Right.
Or
if I do that, they cry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go be out of my way. Like,
yeah.
I love my son, but go do something else that doesn't involve me. Okay,
right.
And then come back later. Tell me if you've learned anything yet. I like every phase of when kids are growing up. But I do prefer the autonomy phase myself. Like, I like being able to lengthen the leash a little bit and, like, go do you.
Or you can, like, go do stuff with them when they're a little older.
Exactly.
Like go hiking or fishing or
you
whatever.
Or you find out, like, you have the same interests that they do.
Right.
Or they're interested in things that you're interested in. That's cool. I like that shit, But no, we're here today.
We're just going to ramble from what I hear. So.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's not going to be like a big... This isn't going to be a crazy... Because,
we might get into something. Who knows?
Who knows? But the Rona ain't got us down. We're going to talk about the election. Because, I want to pick your brain about this whole thing. Because, it's right around the corner.
I've been trolling a lot of people on Twitter lately.
I feel like I kind of want to, like, run scenarios, right?
Okay.
And I feel like you're a good one to bounce scenarios off of. Okay, so just FYI, I don't know if I mentioned in the show, I think it was last year or the year before, but I had a sign, like, a couple of years ago in Ohio, we had a libertarian running for governor, right?
Travis Irvine.
Right? And I requested a yard sign back then, right?
Right, me too.
And heard nothing.
I had a guy drop one off at my house.
Well, and that's the thing, yeah. They came in, like, it's like they came in the night, they put it up, and then they left, right?
He tried to do that with me, but I was home at the time. He was trying to leave, and I was like, who the hell is this?
Now, apparently, the same people that run Travis Irvine's campaign are running Joe Jorgensen's campaign because the exact same thing happened to me again this time.
Oh, I need to do it.
Clandestinely, I looked out my window, at night, mind you, and there was just a sign in my yard. Like some sort of libertarian Santa Claus showed up and fucking put a sign in my yard, which is great. But because I get it, I'm probably at the bottom of the fucking list because the street that I live on is not like it gets no traction.
Right.
Right. I get
Me too. So
I probably have less than a dozen fucking maybe 24 cars that go down my street on any given day. So they're probably looking at like Google Maps and like this motherfucker ain't got no traffic going past his house. I mean, like,
right. It's a waste of time.
Listen though, I mean he's only like one of like 20 people that requested a sign in Preble County. So fuck it. You know, we'll wait till the list builds up a little bit.
I need to request one.
We'll make a run out there. Well, I'll tell you, you might get it before the election. You might, because I definitely requested that thing back in like beginning of September, and it took a month and a half for them to put it in my yard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know, libertarians aren't known for their organizational skills, and I think that's the whole point of being a libertarian is that
My neighbors are like, this guy across the street from me has this giant Trump flag. It's a Trump Rambo flag.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, I've seen those too. Like,
it's huge. It's gigantic.
you know, it's funny. Like I was talking this. I forget Teen Wolf. I call him Teen Wolf. I was talking to Teen Wolf the other day, right? And we were like kind of spitballing back and forth the notion of like how many like, and I hate using the whole Nazi thing, right? But okay, so imagine like the demographics of Germany in the 1930s, right? There had to be like, not everybody was just like full bore, like all the way up Hitler's ass, right?
Right.
There had to be people who were just like,
Man, fuck Adolf.
like, yeah, fuck them, but
excuse my
like,
language.
but this is about all we got going for us right now.
Right.
Like, we kind of just got to ride this one out. Like, even when like
They didn't have a sign out in their yard.
even when things started going bad, they were probably kind of like they didn't want to say that things had gone bad, so they had their pride, right? And they didn't want to like they wanted to save face and say like, oh, he's still doing good. You know, and I'm sure there were people that up until the end, but and it's not to say that Trump is like Hitler because I don't think he is. But do you think in the Trump area, people are Trump supporters, right? I'd say and me and Team Wolf were kind of this. The debate was about how many people were just hardcore, like all the way believe in him, like in their heart of hearts they believe in him, right? And how many are like they just want to save face at this point because they know he's an idiot and like they don't want to admit they're wrong. You know what I mean? I think that's like, and I said I think a lot of them are like that. I think most of them are like that.
They just don't want to be wrong.
They don't want to be wrong.
It's the same thing with the leftist.
They do not want, and they because here's the thing, and this is the worst part is like it's something we've lost in this country is the ability to win gracefully and lose gracefully, right? Because the thing is like, say hypothetically, if they were willing to admit they were wrong, liberals would rub it right in their face instead of being like, thank you for agreeing with me on something,
Right.
And like, welcome back to the fold, welcome back to normalcy. No, they would like proceed to rub their face in their own shit and be like, you did this for 4 years, you
And the
fucking,
same thing with the other side,
you
too.
fucking piece of, exactly. And that's the problem is
We've
like,
come to the point where
like
we've all chosen a side.
Yeah.
And we refuse to be wrong. No matter what.
And that's the thing. Well, not everybody, because here's the thing.
Most people.
If you show me conflicting data.
Okay, people who believe in the left-right paradigm.
Exactly. Because if you show me conflicting data about a belief of mine, right, and say, well, the data doesn't support your belief, you know, of course I'm going to look at it myself. But if it comes out to be true, I am more than willing to eat shoe, you know, eat crow, if you will. Like, I'm willing to admit I was wrong.
Eat crumb.
Eat crumb. There you go. I will eat all the crumb there is, just so that people understand, like it's okay to amend your belief system based on the data that's coming in, right? Because it changes all the time. And you have to be able to amend that. There's some things that are always going to be what they are, right? Like, fuck child molesters. There is no data you're going to be able to bring to me to convince me that,
hey, man,
they should not fucking roast.
I have this paper here that is in support of child molesters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're never gonna there. You could literally have a fucking 1,000 shows or 1,000,000 shows on 1,000,000 typewriters, trying to write essays convincing me that it's okay to be a
Scientifically
pedophile.
published.
Yeah, scientifically published, blue check marked people trying to convince me. And
Not
that's the
gonna
thing.
happen.
A mountain of data. You could have a Mount Everest sized mountain of data to try to say that it's okay to be a pedophile. And I'm not budging on that one. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not to say that there isn't things that are set in stone, but there are some things I feel like are more fluid, and you're able to like amend based on what your life experience and the things that are coming in. You know?
Like all these people who are hardcore Trump supporters that stand with God, Jesus, but then like whenever Trump's over here, like raw dog and strippers, like it's no big deal, like that.
Well, and that's the thing. Like,
I mean, it doesn't bother me.
here's the thing. Like. And here's the thing we were talking about. I said, okay, so you have the two groups that one group who is like hardcore all the way Trump train, and they believe in their heart and hearts like he is the fucking Messiah, right?
Right.
Okay. Those people I try to avoid at all costs.
There's some people like the Chad is one of those.
I don't want to talk to them.
You know the Chad.
Yeah, I know.
He's hardcore.
There's no debating them. There's no talking to them.
Oh, no.
There's no discourse.
I went to a
them.
bar with him 2 weeks ago after work. He asked me. I haven't seen him in a while. Mm-hmm. And
So
nothing
then you have the people
nothing but Trump
that are like, they know he's fucked or he's messed up, right?
Right.
They know he's messed up, but they want to save face. And then you have the ones that are like, I hate everything about him, but I hate everything about the left more than I hate him, right? And for whatever reason, those people don't want to vote third party, right?
There's a lot of those.
They'll still vote. They're gonna fucking. They'll lick Trump's butt.
There's a lot of those.
Just to like, because they it's out of spite. They hate the left so much because what it's come to represent at this point, that they will vote for somebody they absolutely agree with in almost every way simply because he's not them.
Listen, I've been on the fence for a while.
Yeah,
about that. Exactly that, what you just talked about. Like, do I want to vote for Trump? Or do I want to, like, vote with my heart and vote for a third party?
Well, see, and that's the thing.
You know, like, I hate the left so much that...
do
I want to vote for Trump?
But here's the thing, though. This is
the fence I'm on.
And this is why I'm trying to play these scenarios out, right? This is what this episode is about. It's like the holographic room on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like, we're playing out scenarios right now, try to figure out like to swim through these waters before was it November 2nd or November 3rd? I don't know.
Whatever.
One
of those days.
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. The Tuesday where we elect
Tuesday, the first full week.
A new leader of the free world. Anyways, so here's the thing. Like I said in 2016, I will openly admit I voted for Trump.
I voted for Gary Johnson.
One, I don't see, and it's like we're almost opposites now because I said I didn't like Gary Johnson.
I didn't either.
I didn't take him seriously. So it's like, here's the thing: if they had put someone up that I actually liked in the libertarian sense in 2016, I probably would have voted for that person, right? But I didn't like Gary Johnson, and I really, really hate Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I voted for Trump. And the thing is, I told myself after that, I said, I will never compromise my beliefs again for this lesser of two evils nonsense.
I voted for George Bush.
What, in 20...
The second time.
It would have been 2004? Yeah, 2004.
Right before I went to Iraq.
Yeah.
The first time I voted for George Bush. And I regret it.
John Kerry. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I told myself, I was like, I'm
never...
But
I also hated John Kerry, so...
Yeah, I'm never voting for...
They're both warmongers, so...
The lesser of two evils again. I'm voting for the person that... If there isn't a person that I believe in, I'll just not vote at all. Right? But the thing is that... And I said that, and now it's come around, and I actually do... I mean, it's not that I agree with... Okay, if you, like, put all the candidates up against each other, right?
Right.
And you start checking off things that you like and you don't like. I'm not saying I'm 100% on with what Joe's got to offer, right?
Jorgensen?
Yeah. No, yeah, of course, not Joe Biden. But the thing is, Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Listen, listen.
You can't be 100%. I mean, there's no fucking...
Now,
There's
but
no way.
if I agree with,
There's
with
no unicorn out there for everyone.
You know what the messed up part is like of the 4 candidates, because yes, there are 4 major candidates.
That one guy who's a communist.
Well, here's the thing about
I didn't even know about him until I got my absentee ballot the other day.
We will get to him in a minute. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Joe Jorgensen checks the most boxes that I like of all of them.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
And
What
I
doesn't
actually
she
think
check?
she's a generally there are some things like when she produced a short list of people for the Supreme Court. One of the people on there was a regular on the Lolita Express, and that was Alan Dershowitz. But then here's the thing is that this is another thing I like about her is people brought it to her attention like, hey, you just put a dude who was like rubbing elbows with Jeffrey Epstein and going to his pedo island. And she's like, oh, and she immediately like struck him from the record and was like, he's not on the list now. Like, here's like, as far as I could go ahead and say, that's just an oversight. Like, you just kind of accidentally put him on there. And then when you figured out, and when people brought it to your attention, like, screw this guy, you took him off of there. You know what I mean?
How big was the list?
Oh, it was a short list. It was
20 people?
Less than that. It was less than 10.
5?
It was like probably about 10, 12 people.
So he wasn't like number one.
No.
Any means.
He was like, if I remember correctly, when they were naming off the list, he was like number 7 or 8.
So not going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and I could get why somehow he would end up on their list because he is a prolific. No matter like, here's the thing. You can't disregard that he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, but he's a prolific lawyer who knows law, and he's been working in law for a long time. So, like, that's how he probably ended up on that short list. Somebody's like, oh, Alan Dershowitz, because this dude has been in courtrooms. I mean, he helped get OJ off.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
so the dude knows law. You know, like, even if people go after him for the Epstein stuff, he'll probably slip out of it because of how well he knows law. But anyways, so that's why I'm voting for Joe, right? Not voting for Trump because
I feel like one thing that I'm disappointed, I guess you could say I'm disappointed is his whole continuing the whole wars of aggression.
Yeah.
He keeps claiming he's going to pull us out of Afghanistan and claiming this. He may have lowered troop numbers, but he's also increased drone bombings.
Well, and see, here's the
which
thing.
doesn't do anything for ending the war on aggression. It just takes the physical part of us having like boots on the ground gone, but now we're just bombing the shit out of them with drones.
I've heard a lot
Doesn't
of
really change anything.
leftists who actually want Trump to win.
Why? Is this on that
There's a very
that
specific
leftist empire page or?
Yes, there's a very specific reason for this because there is a very, I don't know how much of a minority camp of leftists who believe that if Joe Biden wins, that it's going to set back their cause 20 years. Like, and when they say when I say their cause, and I say that, I mean, like, we're talking Marxist, leftist.
Right, like real leftist.
Like real leftist, because Biden and Kamala Harris, they act progressive, right?
They're trying to get them votes.
But that's the thing, though. They're trying to get that young vote. But the thing is, they're neolibs, just like Hillary Clinton was. Like, they're not any different than anybody. Like, Joe Biden has been in politics. What is it?
47 years.
47 years. Okay, he is not progressive. Okay,
Not done anything.
This dude. I saw a good comparison to this. They said, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are like people who vote for them and believe in like BLM and stuff like that.
Right.
Are like the opposite equivalent of people who have a thin blue line flag and a "Don't Tread on Me" flag together. Like your whole, like, you make no sense. Like, because you have two people, and I've talked about this on the show before. Two people who are practitioners of modern, you have one who is a drafter of modern criminal justice and the other a practitioner of modern criminal justice, right? Trying to say that they're all about like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. They're not, they're part of the problem. You were part of the problem.
Right.
You did nothing. Like, you haven't been, I mean, here's the thing, like, even like
these people are brain dead.
Like Bernie Sanders and stuff like that. You have pictures of him getting arrested during civil rights riots back in the day and stuff like that, even though he's a sellout too.
But at least he used to actually do something for the cause that he acts like he's a part of.
He was on the ground, You know?
Yeah.
Or like, and this brings me to the fourth.
Whenever
candidate.
Bernie Sanders was getting arrested, Joe Biden was sending people to arrest him.
Exactly. And that
Essentially.
that brings me to the fourth. Like when it comes to legitimacy, that brings me to the fourth candidate, Howie Hawkins. Now here's the thing about Howie Hawkins. I've never vote for him because I'm not a socialist or a collectivist by any means. But I will say this about Howie Hawkins. This dude is probably like, I'd say, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the two most legitimate candidates are him and Joe Jorgensen. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Joe, representing libertarians, in essence, represents, economically speaking, capitalism, right? And she's owned several businesses that weren't, mind you, because you can't say Trump was the epitome of capitalism because that dude has been living off of government welfare his entire life.
Right.
So you can't really say that. Joe, on the other hand, had a PhD and she's been the CEO of multiple companies, right? She understands how business works. And that brings me to the other, how legitimacy works, brings me to Howie Hawkins, right?
And Angela Walker. Michonne. She looks like Michonne.
Howie Hawkins, like, worked for, like, UPS for, like, 15 years, right? And before that, he's been in trade unions his entire adult life, right? He's retired from UPS in, like, 2004. Head of the whatever union that...
They're Teamsters.
Yeah, they're Teamsters?
They were when I worked there. I worked
Okay.
there for 3 years.
Let's say hypothetically they're Teamsters, right? This dude was at the forefront of like union halls and like leadership his entire career, right? And he retires from that and then goes straight into working internally in the Green Party. Like, he's legit. He is a socialist.
He's lived the life.
He has lived the life. He knows it. He like, and that's the thing. Like, and I could give him respect because, you know, of all the things that I hate about socialism, the one thing I actually do like is unions. I think organized labor is actually smart. You know what I mean? But it's also it has to be voluntary, right?
I don't know. I mean,
They have a purpose, is what I'm getting at. Because the thing is like we can't just like.
I don't know. I
Okay.
feel like every union that I've been a part of screwed me.
Okay, well, I mean,
I see the point, though.
you see what I mean, though? Because here's the thing. Okay,
At one point in time, for sure.
let's think about like I like to look at it in the sense like I like what is it, American Tail, right? Where you have like they come to America with promises of streets lined with cheese and
Feifel goes west.
yeah, in both of them you have this example, right? Where it's this dream of America and
And they end up getting lost in the sewer.
And guess what? The cats really rule everything, and they're in charge, and they play the mice against each other with these different factions and make you think like that they have any control when it's really the cats who are doing it in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like, to me, I know it's a children's movie, but you can't, like I'm saying is, when it comes to having a labor force, you can't have unfettered capitalism. There has to be limits.
Yeah.
Or at least in
for sure.
at least in the sense that like people are willing to group together and say, we are not going to supply labor unless you give us what we want. Right? That makes sense to me. Otherwise, you got 12-year-olds working in mines and shit like that. Like,
Right.
have-
I can't jump 100% on board with the anarcho-capitalist game.
Exactly.
I've ran scenarios in my head like a million times.
See, I'm the same way.
and
Like,
there's certain things that
because the shit will end up like Blade Runner. That's what.
Yeah.
If we let the anarcho-capitalists, like, if we let their vision of the world come to fruition, yeah, it'll be fucking great and super highly technological. But there'll also be rampant fucking androids killing people, and fucking the police will be run by corporations. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
there would be no public land for you to do anything on ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because as of right now, you can go to like a state, national park,
and that's the
a
thing.
local park. Those are all ran by government.
and here's the thing, like,
If that was ran by private individuals, they've done lease that shit off to
and
be
that's the thing.
farmed or mined or something.
there is something to be
There's some
said
people that would,
about
but not everyone.
having spaces where people can go and not have to pay money. You know what I mean? Like, I love, people have brought up good examples of this before. They said, imagine if the concept of a library hadn't existed until now, and somebody said we should have libraries where you could go and rent books, there would be people be like, this is a socialist Marxist agenda. And
right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there are things. It's okay. Like, I'm willing to. I'll pump out some. I'll shed some money if this is something we can have, something together that we can have.
I'm all about paying taxes if it's something state or local.
Yeah, as long as we voted on it too. That's the other.
Not
thing.
this federal taxes where they take our money and use it to go 3,000 miles across the ocean to go bomb some dude who's like just minding his own damn business in his backyard.
Yeah. Over the fact that, like, it wasn't even about him. It was about his government not using our money to buy or sell something.
Right. That's the kind of taxation that is legitimately theft.
Yeah.
Where they're stealing my money to go overseas to carpet bomb a community for something that some other government did to our government.
In reciprocation, which the thing is, it's not even like you're not killing the people who you're not even killing the people you're mad at.
Right.
You're killing what represents the people you're mad at.
Yeah.
As if, like, the people who get bombed are going to be mad at their government instead of you. You see what I mean?
I'm sure people are going to be like, I'm a commie, but paying some taxes or something to, like, for a local park or local libraries. And
if it's voluntary, yeah.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
If you came together as a community and voted on it, I don't see it being a problem.
Right.
That's how I've always said about when people come to me, there's certain things, like, and I try to explain to them, like, sometimes you got to hit people with broad strokes to get their attention, right? It's like the other day I was talking to somebody and they came up to me and said, do you really believe, like when you guys say on the show, like ACAB and stuff like that, like you think all cops are bad? And I was like, here's what it is, bud. I was like, broad strokes. I was like, saying ACAB gets somebody's attention, right?
Right.
I was like, it gets people asking questions, right? And then if you could lure somebody in, you explain to them what you're really saying is, you're not saying every individual cop is a evil person. But here's the problem, is they work for an evil system, right?
Totally.
Which inherently makes them bad. I was like, think about it. I love using movies. Let's say, for example, like, not every stormtrooper was bad, right?
Right.
But the organization they worked for was, right? You could say the same thing in any context, like, say, like in World War II. Not every German soldier was bad, you know? But the government he was working for was.
Right.
Okay? So that's really what you're saying when you say ACAB, right? Like, they're working for a corrupt system. Like, and if they understood that they were working for a corrupt system, they would either A, stop working for it, they consciously work for it, which makes them evil, or they unconsciously work for it, which makes them ignorant. So pick your poison on that one.
There needs to be some reform. We all know that.
Yeah.
That we can't totally
And that's
dismantle it.
and that's the other part is, I was like, painting broad strokes like that gets people's attention, right? And it gets them asking questions. And you're like, okay, so if you don't think all cops are bad, you just think that, like, they work for a bad system, what can you do? I'll tell you what you could, and you know what I mean. It opens up avenues, because you're
conversation.
Like, how about we get rid of no-knock warrants, or how about we get rid of qualified immunity? You know what I mean? How about we reform our laws so that I'll flip the script even further and say, you know what really the problem is? We're putting too much of a burden on the police. We're telling them we're making them enforce laws that we really shouldn't have them enforcing in the first place.
All those victimless crimes.
Exactly. And the thing is, we're putting them in situations, right, where bad things can happen for no good reason. Like, why create that scenario in the first place when you could avoid it altogether if it's not against the law?
Like when they go in and do no-knock warrants on a drug house?
Yeah.
On a guy selling weed. Victimless crime, and they go kick his door in, and then a cop gets shot, and you see it on the news, like, police officer dies in drug raid, like
that. And I tell people, like, that's the kind of criminal justice reform I'm talking about. Like, how about we unburden the police, right, with all this extra stuff we've put on them?
I still want someone there to be able to go, like, to my grandma's house and protect her if she calls them.
Yeah,
because I can't be there all the time.
Exactly, but
I can't just run down and drop everything and go over to her house whenever she's got an issue.
But the thing is that And that's usually where I'll get them. Like I'll get them to that
Right.
point, and then all of a sudden they're starting to like realize like I'm not crazy, and what I said wasn't crazy, right? It's the same thing with taxation is theft. I was like, it's a broad
Taxation is theft.
it's a broad stroke that gets attention, right? Because then I explain myself. I say when I say taxation is theft, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have taxes. I'm saying income taxation without our consent is theft, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm all about being able to.
I want to be able to have stuff in my community that we can all go to, and I want to be able to support stuff in my community.
And I want to be able to, but I also want to be able to vote on these things. You know?
Right.
I want to be able to have my hand in it and decide. And that's the thing. You've entered into a community, right? And you vote on something, even if you like say we want to build a new park and you don't want your money going to that, right? For whatever reason, right? And you vote against it, but it still gets voted in. You have entered into that community, right? You have decided to be a part of it. And unfortunately, your side didn't win this one, bud. So take an L and enjoy the park. I mean, I don't know.
There's some things, I guess, like that are for the better of the community. I think that I sound like a socialist on.
Now, you know what
But,
it is? You're talking about classical liberalism.
Yeah.
That's it.
But then
That's what you're talking about.
Some of
You're
these
not
like
talking
hardcore
about,
people are going to call me a commie.
You're
or
not
something.
talking about collectivism. This isn't
Right.
collectivism. Talking about libraries and schools and public parks. That's
Right.
all. That's all covered in classic liberalism. That's not even. Collectivists would say, I think all the labor should be collected. All the healthcare should be
Healthcare,
collected.
that's a big no-go.
I think, yeah.
I'm a big, huge capitalist on that.
Yeah. Well, and that's a whole.
I mean, the free market, man. Like the free market prevails, and that's
if you let
the
it.
free market isn't not going to provide us a place to go in the playground and play.
Yeah.
They're not going to create a playground for your children to go play in.
Like, you know what?
You know what the free market's going to do? They're going to sell that shit.
As I say,
and put a fucking condominium.
You know
there.
what? You know what they do? You know what they do? They will give you a place to play. It's called Kings Island. It's called fucking Jumpin'
pay for
Jack.
that.
It's called.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You have to pay for that. That's the thing. It's not something collective that we can all like go to and have fun and not be expected to pay something.
Right.
You know. Let's move on. I wanted to talk about like scenarios, right? Like if
Okay,
this
let's do
person wins, if this person wins. Okay, so
If Donald Trump wins.
let's go with Donald Trump first. Okay, let's say
when Donald Trump wins.
So you think he's going to win?
I think he's going to win.
What do you think? What do you think percentage-wise, like the likelihood of that happening is?
I think the percentage of him winning is pretty high. I would say 70%,
70%?
70-40. 70 that he'll win.
70-30?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he wins. What happens now?
What happens?
Is it another 4 years of just endless cycles of chaos and maelstrom by the left?
Yeah.
Over again?
Yep.
God, that's really, I gotta
It's
be
sad.
I'm really tired.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to happen. Listen, he's done some decent things. I'm not going to say he's a total piece of shit.
And the thing is, like I said before, there are leftists who want him to win because him winning continues their cause forward.
But he hasn't done anything really like...
And I've said it once, I'll say it again. The left,
He's going to win.
the left is really good at making themselves the opposition, right? They're really good. They're bad. They're terrible at governing people. They're really good at being the rebellion, the opposition, right?
Yeah.
Like the spur in the side of whatever fucking conservative stuff is going on. They like being the opposition. They fit really well into that spot, right? They're not good at being the man.
Listen.
I'll tell you that right now.
We did the episode with Ted Kaczynski. Mm-hmm. He lays it all out. Right there about leftists.
Yeah.
They're really good at being the opposition because they're really good at playing the victim.
Mm-hmm.
It's always someone else's fault. It's never their own fault. They have zero autonomy.
Yeah.
So they have to
They're just
group up and be collectivist with everything. And just blame someone else for everything. I mean.
Yeah. They're bad at governing though. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah, horrible.
When they get into power,
that's because they have no power in their own life. And so they want to take control of everyone else's life.
So you think Donald Trump's going to win?
Yeah, and then I don't know what's going to happen because.
And then 4 years of a maelstrom. Basically.
What about the fact with all this mail-in ballot stuff?
Apparently, right now the mail-in ballots are pushing towards Biden, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the last election we saw the same exact thing happen.
They're not supposed to be counting the mail-in ballots yet,
or
at least in Ohio they don't.
It's like polls from people who have already mailed in their ballot.
Gotcha.
They're polling them. And it's polling Joe Biden. Well, correct me if
you can poll.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that happened in 2016 as well.
Yeah,
they were saying like I remember up until the election, like first of all, disregard all polls. Right?
All night long they were like, Hillary's going to win, and then about halfway through the night they start crying and screaming because they know what's coming.
Here's the thing, like
their polls are wrong. Who are they polling? I haven't been asked.
Yeah, me neither. But
are they going to suburbia in the middle of Columbus, Ohio, and polling all those left-wing women and saying that they account for all of Ohio?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's what I feel like they're doing.
I haven't seen a single person come out here to poll anybody.
Right.
But here's the thing: like, I'm not saying. I think you're probably right. It probably is going to be Donald Trump. And I think once again the polls are going to be proved gravenly wrong. Because the thing is, like, they're all over the place. It's because a lot of it's divisive too. Because a lot of these polls that they're using are based off of, even on the web, you got to think of the traffic that are going to the websites that are using those polls in the first place. You know what I mean? It depends on who you're polling, who's winning, right? But a lot of people are saying that Joe Biden's ahead. But the thing you got to ask yourself is, who are they polling? And the other thing you got to ask yourself is who's voting for Joe Biden? Doesn't it seem like the biggest like of all the field of candidates they could have chose from, right?
You know who's voting for Joe Biden?
Who?
Those people who you talked about earlier who refuse to change. They're just voting for the blue team, and that's it.
Vote blue no matter who.
They're not voting for anyone other than a D. And it's only based on the fact that they have a D in the front of their name.
Yeah. I saw something the other day.
It could be anybody.
You know what's crazy is, like, it's the cognitive dissonance and the mental gymnastics that people will go through to try to justify, like, his creepy behavior. Like, I saw something the other day where this woman was trying to say that the reason that he, like, touches the children and smells them and stuff like that is because he had a daughter die.
Oh, burn in hell.
Back in the day. And that's, like, he's just trying to connect to them. And it's like, listen, I don't have a daughter. I have a child. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've never, like, grabbed my child by the head like that and sniffed him. Or, like, grabbed, like, and mind you. So one of two things is going on here. He's either a creep or he's senile and he's grabbing somebody else's kid like that. Because that's the other part is like, if...
Dude's got dementia. Let's get real.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. So...
I think that for real, though, when Trump gets reelected, that there's going to be mass chaos in the streets.
Oh, of course. Like I said.
And then they're going to riot even more than they rioted back in the spring and summer.
It's going to be another 4-year maelstrom of constant cycling.
I've even heard word that some of these leftist states, like on the West Coast, are even talking about, like, trying to secede and stuff. Oregon, Washington, California.
Okay.
I really like Oregon. It's a beautiful state.
Well, you could always get your passport out and go over. You know?
You're right.
But the thing is that let's say Joe Biden wins, right? I mean, as unlikely as that is, let's say he wins, right? I don't think, I have to side with Bones. I think he hit the nail on the head with this one. He said it doesn't matter who wins. The constant chaos and media cycles are going to continue regardless of who wins.
What do you think they're going to be?
Because he seems to believe that this chaos is part of something much bigger.
That's why I think they want Trump to win.
And the thing is that, like, when it comes to their ideological Marxist revolution, right, that they have in their heads, their ideal is for Trump to win. Yeah, because it gives them more.
That's exactly my thoughts.
Gives them more fuel to the fire. But their worry is that if Biden wins,
it's dead in the water.
Their support, and that's the thing, that their support that they have, because if Biden wins, there's going to be a fair majority of them that are just like, shut up. right? It's like
yeah.
it's like when Obama won. We had a ton of anti-war protesters through the Bush era, right? And then as soon as the wars didn't stop.
No,
when
but the
Obama came in
complaining
office,
did.
but the complaining about being at war did.
Yeah, in fact, the war effort started getting stronger. We started bombing more countries.
So-
We sent more troops over.
The radicals lose their portion of the proletariat on this one. You know what I mean? Like because there's people out there that are just like they're 9-to-5ers like the rest of us. They just for whatever reason can't stand Trump. They're Democrats. It's what have you. They have their reasons, right? But most of them aren't radical reasons. You know what I mean?
Most of them are, I like Biden because he's not Trump. Let's get real.
Hey, there you go. So you have those people, and if Biden wins, those people are just going to go back to their lives.
Yep.
They're going to go back to being part of civilized society, right? But if Trump wins, they
might be radicalized.
You
if
take
Trump
half of
wins.
that number, they might go ahead and radicalize all the way
Yeah.
and push through, right? Because and
That's why I think the whole plan, the entire time, has been for Trump to win. Honestly,
the thing is, like, considering they put possibly the worst candidate in this climate,
the two worst.
yeah, you put two people together. Not
Joe
only,
Biden, who's been a lame duck his entire political career,
exactly,
who's done nothing but stuff his pockets with foreign money.
Yeah, who's been in politics for 47 years and says that he can fix this.
And then
Right.
Kamala Harris,
Who, I mean, for lack of
she
better
was like
terms,
the worst one in the whole Democratic primary debate.
she is responsible amongst all the candidates. She is more responsible than any other besides Joe Biden. Like I'd say, if you go down a list of
Nobody even liked her.
president nominees and vice president nominees, and you list them by how many black people they've put behind bars, Joe Biden would be number one, obviously, because he drafted those things, and then she would be right behind him. Right?
I think what's going to happen is that Trump's going to get reelected, and he's going to help usher in this new world order.
There's other people that kind of, and
He's already pushing this vaccine.
Here's the thing that, like,
You know who else is pushing the vaccine? I've been listening to a lot of Alex Jones lately, just because I feel like you should always listen to your opposition,
yeah,
and I feel like he's a deep state troll.
he's something. I've said it
Dude,
before.
been like the other day he equated anarcho-capitalist to communist.
Okay, then. Okay, Mr. Bare-chested chili man.
Right. He went on this huge rant about anarcho-capitalists being anarchist and communist. Like, it's in the name, you fool. But then, at the same time, he's always talking about this vaccine that Trump's pushing. We need to get this vaccine. You don't have to get it if you don't want to. I'm not going to take it. But, if you want to get it, Trump's putting this vaccine out.
Okay, even though, like, Alex Jones has spent...
How many years has he spent?
Anti-vax has been, like, bread and butter of his thing for forever.
But now Trump's putting a vaccine out. It's totally safe.
Okay, but here's the thing. So, with this whole...
Either that,
I can't even deal with this anymore. Here's the problem is that
both sides are screwed.
I have a string of a mean streak of what the Germans refer to as Schadenfreude, right?
Yeah.
It's for lack of a better term, killjoy. But it doesn't. Don't think of it killjoy in the sense we use killjoy. Think of it in the sense I get joy out of other people's misery, right? And there is a select group of people amongst the Trump posse, the QAnons.
Oh yeah, those people were nuts.
I don't like them, right? And I want to see them try to somehow bend their way backwards out of, if say hypothetically Trump loses, right? I want to see how they're going to not lose their ever-loving mind. Like, and if I hear one more of them say trust the plan if he loses, I'm going to go nuts.
The plan is to put them in a FEMA camp.
And that's the thing. Like, what if the plane, like, and I've said that before, what if the QAnon thing's real? But the thing is, like, I feel like we're narrowing in on the last stretch of this
Like
run.
20 days or something.
So if your plan is going to go into effect, you either assume he's already going to win or you're going to do it before the election. But the thing is, like, the way things are, I mean, I'm still putting it, like, you put it at 70-30. I'm going 60-40. I think here's the thing. There's certain, like, they're polling, like, I'm not saying they've learned their lesson all the way, right?
Right.
But they're polling in places that are important. for the Electoral College.
Right. Can I pause this real quick?
Yeah.
Emily keeps calling me.
Yeah, you're good.
Hello? What's up? I'm at Jay's house.
We're almost done, by the way.
I'm at Jay's house. Driving up where? Oh, Jay? Oh, where you at? Oh, how much longer do you think we'll be?
Not too much longer. Like, I'd say we could
I'm
probably...
not in a rush. She said she's talking about driving up here.
Maybe about 10 more minutes. That's about it.
She said she's talking about driving up here. That's why I was going to...
That's fine.
You can. I'll call you whenever we're done. You can head up this way. But I still was going to go home. Doing this podcast. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't answer. But, yeah. I was just going to head home when we're done doing this. Because I was going to do my sauce stuff. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Alright, bye, I love you. Sorry, she's blowing my phone up. Over nothing. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta get off your rant. Sorry.
No, you're good. So, I believe I was saying 60-40, right? Because they're polling in certain places where there's question marks, like North Carolina and stuff like that, where before it was bastions of Trump country and stuff like that.
Right.
They're kind of like, but then again, this could be an urban rural thing. You're if it's like North Carolina, you're polling Raleigh Durham when you're not polling, like Fayetteville or something like that.
Right,
like,
exactly.
So it's hard to say. I still think it might be a little bit closer than.
They said something about today how like Biden's like a few points ahead of Trump in Ohio or something.
Like, here's the thing. I mean,
I don't know about you, but I don't see hardly any Biden sides around these parts.
Let's say hypothetically, I'm going to go ahead and say that 90% of people that voted Trump in the last election
don't have a sign up,
are still alive, they haven't changed their mind in 4 years.
Right.
In fact, I would go on to say that the media has gone to prove Trump's point a little bit more than you think, considering the biases and stuff like that. Like, I think,
like I've said earlier, I mean, I'm on the fence. Well, I don't think I'm quite on the fence anymore. I think I'm just going to go with Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah.
But how many people out there are like kind of weary about voting for Trump, but now since all this shit's been happening and craziness and all the lies, it's constant lies, lie after lie after lie.
Yeah.
They talk about Trump being colluding with Russia, and come to find out it's like
that was all fake.
Biden taking handouts, and then the whole like Trump withholding money from Ukraine, and come to find out it was Biden who was withholding money from Ukraine.
So let's think about it like this.
It's just lie after lie after lie. So
let's say
people are going to vote for Trump.
Let's say hypothetically, 90% of the people that voted for him in the last election are planning on voting for him again, right?
Right.
Okay, they've dug their heels in. They ain't going nowhere, right? Because he's already proven their point 10 times over by saying the media is biased against you. They're trying the cultural Marxists are trying to destroy the country, right?
They are,
and I mean he's right. Okay,
yeah.
So it's not to say regardless of whether a person's right doesn't mean I like them.
Yeah,
but
he's right though.
He is right. So you have that. Let's say 10% because of his behavior, and let's just say his behavior he's a bore. He's just absolutely just terrible. He's just a ignorant asshole, right? 10% left because of that. I'd say that's a pretty big number, though. I'm overshooting that one. I'd say it's probably more single digit.
How the hell are you going to go from voting Trump to Biden?
But let's say they jumped ship to.
Let's say they did.
Let's say they jumped ship to third party. Right.
Then it wouldn't really matter.
Or they did decide for whatever reason to go to Biden. Okay, I would say in the last 4 years, I would say he's made up for that hypothetical 10% leaving him by collecting more people. Because here's the thing, think about it.
Think about all the people that didn't vote who are now voting.
Anybody, any African American worth their salt, between the two candidates, who if you really know what you're talking about, right? Which one are you picking? Like, for real. We've talked about this over and over again on the show today.
You ain't black if you don't vote for Biden.
You got two people, regardless, let's forget about the R and the D here. Let's represent just these individuals on their own basis, right?
Right.
Who is more responsible for the sabotage of the African American community in America, right? And who is actually, surprisingly, tried to do something about it? We have one who, like I said, has been in politics for 47 years, who, has had nothing to do with black unemployment going down. And you have another one who has been in politics for 4 years and has made, before COVID, made the African American unemployment rate at a historic low.
And this is another thing. They keep saying that Trump's racist.
Not only that,
and they keep saying that he refuses to disavow white supremacists.
He has brought people from both sides of the aisle together to talk about criminal justice reform and how that's an issue. He has pardoned people personally pardoned people based on that notion that we need to address criminal justice reform in this country.
Starting to sound like a Trump commercial.
Especially amongst the African. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Like, I'm not like you. We talked about this before. I'm not voting for him. But the thing is, like, if you're gonna pick one of the two,
right?
I mean,
there's one option that's clearly better than the other.
The choice is obvious,
right?
Right? Like, the choice is obvious for somebody. So, and I think that's where he's made up that, let's say, mythical, hypothetical 10% that he might have lost since the last election. Is, I think, amongst African Americans, his support has grown secretly. I think exponentially, in fact.
I think so too.
And I think they're about to
get
the shit shocked out of them.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now.
But so coming to scenarios again, though, like, I got to thinking, it's the perfect scenario for chaos or for the destruction. Because if Trump gets reelected, there's obviously going to be chaos and riots in the street.
Mm-hmm.
But if Biden and Harris get elected, then they're going to go forward with trying to destroy everything that
I'm going to tell you right now, whether
the Constitution is made of.
That's the thing. Whether it's this,
so either way, it's the perfect storm.
Whether it happens in 2021,
we're screwed either way.
Whether it happens in 2025, I'm going to tell you one thing. This is either the last time or the second to last time we're ever going to see the Electoral College.
That's unfortunate.
I'm going to make that. Well, here's the thing.
But
here's the thing, and hear me out on this. I'm not saying it doesn't have its place, right? But because here's the thing: if we get rid of it and just go straight like popular vote, I don't like that. I don't like that because the thing is, we have allowed ourselves to be. Everybody is sandwiched between New York and California, basically, right? The decisions of the elections are based solely like the people running for president would literally have to campaign in 2 states.
California and New York.
Let's say 3. Let's throw Texas out there. They campaign in 3 states. They could say, screw the rest of us,
right,
and just campaign in those 3. So I'm not for just the popular vote alone, but there is something to be said, and I think it needs to be looked into more. What some places are doing, and that's the ranked choice voting.
I like that. That's what they used to do.
Okay, because the thing is, like, here's the thing. I would say if you did ranked choice in this country, this would open up avenues for libertarians and all sorts of. I think it would destroy the duopoly of the 2-party system, because if you had ranked choice, like say hypothetically, you have ranked choice, right, and you're going to vote down the line from your most likely, the one you're voting for, and the least likely, like the one you like the least, right? That's how it works. So let's say my order is, oddly enough, it would probably be Jorgensen, then Trump, then Howie Hawkins, and then Biden, right? So, and say you vote for Trump, and then Joe Jorgensen, and then Biden, and then Howie Hawkins, right?
Right.
So the way ranked choice works is like they put they accumulate these votes, right? And they basically, it's not the one necessarily, well, it is the one who got the most votes of the most highest votes. So let's say hypothetically, people are like, oh, I would never vote for Trump. But so like basically they would put either Trump last or Biden last for their choice, right? So really what it would come down to is who got the most number 2 spots, either Jorgensen or Howie Hawkins, right? So it would compel, I feel like it would compel our politicians to seek out a broader spectrum of like people in order to be able to appeal to people, right? They couldn't sequester themselves to their lonely quadrants of the political spectrum. They would have to be able to reach out and grab people from other sides of the spectrum in order to get higher up on the ranked choice. I don't see a problem with it, honestly, because I get it. I get why people are pissed about the Electoral College. Because the thing is, like, it gives like, I understand it. I took civics class. I get why we have it. But the thing is that, I mean, representationally speaking, we're like a state like Wyoming is grossly overrepresented, right?
Right.
Like grossly overrepresented by that system. Like, I get why we have it. I understand that. But here's the thing. The whole point of this whole country was to find a more perfect union, right? To find the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know if the Electoral College is the best way to go anymore.
I don't know. I mean, you're right. I mean, Wyoming is grossly overrepresented.
I'm not just picking on Wyoming. It's a bigger problem than just one state.
It gets equal representation now.
And I get that. Like I said, I took civics class. I get why we have it. Because the thing is, like I said, if our candidates, like, if we didn't have that, Trump, Biden, they would only have to campaign in 3 states.
I mean, in my opinion, if we got rid of the Electoral College, we might as well just become our own separate states.
Well, that's the thing. We wouldn't be like.
There's no reason having United States.
We wouldn't be represented.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we would, like, you would either have to take one of 2 choices. You campaign in those 3 states, or you literally have to campaign your ass off in every other state in the union just to make up. And even then, you probably didn't make up for it.
Right.
You know, so.
It wouldn't matter.
I mean, take with it what you will.
Yeah.
But I think that about wraps it up for the show. Hey, there's ways to get a hold of us. And since Bones is going to be home a lot here the next week or so, probably.
Bones text me back.
You can hit us up.
He's still alive, so
that's good. You can hit up with those DMs over on Instagram, instagram.com/bonesandtubs. Hit us up in the DMs. We'd like to hear from you. You can also hit us up on our Gmail for long form email, bonesandtubs@gmail.com. If you want to secure patronage for us, you go over to patreon.com/bonesandtubs. We're also on Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. We'd like to thank JMY5 for doing the artwork for the show. He always does great work. And we'd also like to thank Blood Brave for letting us use his music on the show. Like I said before, you might want to do wellness checks on my podcasting partner, make sure he's good through the week. He should. I assume he's going to make a speedy recovery.
Hopefully.
I imagine he will.
Hopefully he does Donald Trump.
He is strong.
Back in 3 days.
He's strong like bull. But between now and then, you guys, you stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.
The bad thing about being honest is straightforward and doing that is people know where you stand and they try to take advantage of you. They take advantage of your good nature. They take advantage of the fact that they know that you're a good guy, you are a straight shooter, and that you're not going to retaliate on them when they fuck you. Well, folks, most of the time I believe that's probably true. But God built me to be here to prove to you that what you have been doing for God knows how many years is wrong. You picked on the wrong man. I'm not tough.
You hear that?
I'm not that strong.
Yeah. Yeah. They rolled up in all black. Yeah. Windows half cracked. Yeah. Scoping out the scene before they attack. Had they on bad guys in most people's eyes. Most trust them with their life cause they got a badge and tie. Gifted a position given to them by a system that set it all up to put the kids into prison. This is non-fiction, non-violence, so just listen. They got a mission to imprison your mind and soul. This ain't nothing new, but we survive what we're sold. And don't believe in ourselves, but believe what we're told. And we're all molded by a machine that gets in your dreams. It can get in your gut and kill your self-esteem. And I've been scolded and told who I should be, but I'll never conform. I was born to be free. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up. Cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, and never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage, it's a setup. So keep your head up, cause it's selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. Giving numbers of birth, yeah, that's a fact. Deny it if you want, but I'll do the math. I face facts and understand how to overstand the plan with my mind intact. And I got more than a plan, I got hope and belief, dreams and faith, and know damn well that's what they want to take. It's a weapon, fear is aggression, and they plant it in our minds to the point we can't find a way out, a way in. And anywhere you go, you'll see many men over there and everywhere. They're armed and prepared to do whatever it takes. They don't play fair, that's a jump out boys with the plastic toys draped in all black, ready to bring the noise. A setup, and never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage, it's a setup. So keep your head up, cause it's selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, and never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage, it's a setup. So keep your head up, cause it's selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth.